Hello and welcome again to Intelligent 5-Minute Guides. This week we are looking at how to buy a business. I'm Intelligence Managing Director Mark Fitzgerald Cook. This is an abridged version of one of our very popular webinars, full details of which you can find in the links and notes below. So please visit to hear the full story of how to buy a business. But for now, we're going to give you some key takeaways and tips to help you successfully buy a business. So we are going to be covering buying a business versus starting a business, how to find one, questions to ask when buying a business, how to go about making an offer, conducting due diligence, absolutely critical, securing funding, common mistakes people make, and lastly, if we overcome all of those, congratulations, you've bought your business. So buying versus starting, big decision. What are the advantages about buying a business versus starting one up? You can buy a business with an existing reputation, gives you a head start. A loyal customer base often drives a great reputation, and if you've got competent staff who know what they're doing, that attracts the loyal customers, that helps build the reputation. When we say it's less effort, we don't mean it's less effort in the, it's still long hours and doing the right things to run a business. But when you buy a business, you're concentrating on growing it as opposed to starting it where you've got to source every single thing, find the premises, recruit the staff, etc. So it's a different kind of effort. You're amplifying things rather than providing a foundation when you buy a business. And lastly, you've got a bit more confidence when you're buying it that it's a stable investment. You've got some history you can check out versus the unknown of starting something. In terms of finding a business, direct contact if you know somebody who's selling a business you're interested in. Going to online directories, so you might go to Zoopla and Rightmove. If you're buying a house, you might go to Businesses for Sale or Rightbiz or Dalton's online directory, or you come to a specialist like Intelligent Business Broker with up to 1,000 businesses for sale, where we can talk you through the businesses and give you advice on the whole process. And remember, in a business broker, we're working for the seller as well, so we can help put buyers and sellers together and help complete the whole process, which is why brokers like Intelligent and the services we have at intelligent.co.uk are so popular. So you found a business. What are you going to ask to make sure you're making a good purchase? Talk to the buyer. What's the opportunity? How would they grow the business further? What are the biggest challenges? If they know about the growth, then they should know what challenges there are in the business. And how are the business's processes documented? So if you go in there, is there a way of easily understanding this is how we do these things? And that might sound very simple, but we all know the experience of not knowing where to find something. As they say, knowledge isn't knowing everything, but it is knowing where to find the answers. And lastly, understand why they're selling. If they're talking up a great opportunity and a great picture, just ask the seller why they're not doing it themselves. And there are a myriad of valid reasons for selling a business, which we cover elsewhere, but these are all key questions you should be asking. So you've asked the questions, how do you go about making an offer? Well, first you need to do a viewing. You can do this via Zoom or face-to-face or a drive-by. Make sure there's room to negotiate, okay? And what I mean by that is have your numbers, your reason, your logic if you're going to make an offer under the asking price. Understand how the payment process is going to work, escrow accounts, etc. Very, very important. And understand what the inventory list is as well. So what's included in the price. In terms of your due diligence, which will help uncover things like what's included in the price, make sure the paperwork is all in order. Make sure stock check, inventory, what you're buying is what you're getting, that the contracts are up to date and there's nothing. Always check with staff, make sure there's nothing outstanding, no disputes or something that might come up back and, the dispute is with the business, not the individual. So make sure you're not buying yourself a problem. And make sure you understand the business operations. Who does what? In an ideal world, a business would pass the 2-week test, and that is when the owner goes away, the business can still run quite happily for a couple of weeks. In terms of securing funding, make sure you've got a detailed business plan. Make sure you've got information about yourself. Lenders really want to buy into you as an individual as well. Make sure the accounts support the business plan. Make sure you've got some security in place. They will want to know that you're sharing the risk a little bit, and ideally have a deposit to put down as well. Get those things right and you're going to be in a really, really good place. But watch the webinar for more detail about these really, really important factors. Common mistakes to avoid. Poor legal representation. Solicitors seem expensive until you don't have a good one. Absolutely critical, not only when you're buying a business, but when you come to sell it, because things often come to a head then as well. Make sure you do the due diligence. It might not sound very sexy and your heart might be running away with it, but your head is going to be running it. Make sure you plan correctly. If you plan to fail, poor planning is going to result in failure down the line. So make sure you're planning properly. Don't overstretch yourself. Don't let your heart run away with it again. And make sure you're the right person for that business. Again, watch the webinar. Get all of these things right. Congratulations, you'll have found your way to buying the right type of business for you. If you enjoyed this, please give us a review on Trustpilot. Otherwise, follow the links below or contact us on the email address and phone numbers on your screen now.